Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. We're heading into week 7. It's that time where I go over all the picks from this week's NFL weekend and Monday night games. We got MLB playoffs on as well, so if you're enjoying that, I chose to go with my Stros hat today because the Yankees is the one team I don't own a hat for, so we're going with that. Kind of picking them, I guess, rooting for them the rest of the way here. Don't know what you guys are thinking, but let me know in the comments below. Subscribe, all that jazz. We're just going to jump right into it today, guys. And we got 13 games to go over. Some teams coming off the bye, some teams going into the bye. We'll get to that at the end. And Thursday night we had Arizona take it from New Orleans. If you follow me on Twitter, you got me picking both Arizona spread. You got me picking Arizona straight up win. So 1-0 so far in the week on both of them. Going over last week, we went 6-8 in Pickem. Probably my worst week so far this season. We are now 55, 37, and 1 on the year. And on the spread side, we went 7-7. Again, probably my worst week, which it's hard to say. It's been a great year so far for the spread for me. 55, 38, and 1 on the season, leading one of my pools and then 5th in the other. So pretty excited about that. But we're just strictly doing Pick'em. If you want to see my spread picks, follow me on Twitter below. I do those every week, Sunday morning when it's last coming out, etc. So first game of the week, we're going to go to Baltimore hosting the Browns, and I have the Baltimore Ravens taking this one. The spread's starting to creep on up against the Browns. I think a lot of people are fed up with the Browns, and myself included. The Ravens have been, lack of a better word, not great. Losing to the Giants last week. They're looking for a big bounce back division lead. This division is wide open. It's actually crazy. You would think Pittsburgh so far this season, the way their season has gone, they'd be out of it, but in last, still very much in it. And yeah, Baltimore's going to just walk with this one, I hope. I think Lamar's had a little bit of a rut, but he's going to come out. I'm not super confident that Brissett, etc. on the Browns have figured it out because they've just looked not good. Next up, Indy going into Tennessee. This is their second match of the week or of the season already. Early on in the season, they're getting both division games out of the way. You would think that between the two of them, one of them's walking away with this division, so this means a lot. Tennessee won the first one, and I am taking them again to win this one. I just think overall, Indy has shown that it is very weak in a lot of areas. They had a big bounce back week with a big win against the Jaguars last week, but I'm not buying it yet. I think there's a lot of concern here. Taylor's should be back for the Colts. Should make a big difference. But on the other side, Titans, they have a lot of weapons too. And it's going to be a tight game, but I am going with Titans. And this one, I'm probably going to do that as the spread as well. On top of that, a big bet in Vegas has the -2.5 for the Titans as a big hammer. I think it's 200,000 on that game that they were announced, so that's pretty interesting too. Tampa Bay home against Carolina Panthers. Don't know what else anyone would be choosing here other than Tampa. 13.5 point lead. I'm not going to go too much into it. We don't know what's going on with Carolina. They're pretty much out of it. PJ Tuckett, whatever his name is, quarterbacking for them. I'm not going to be able to figure it out against this awesome Tampa. I expect Tampa to feast. Just feast in this one. I'm just going to quickly move on now. Bengals hosting the Falcons. I'm going to go with the Bengals, although this to me feels like a trappy game. Would not discount Falcons at all. I think they've been pretty much my sleeper pick that I say every week to not sleep on, and they showed it last week against San Francisco pretty significantly. I'm going to say it again here, but this trap kind of works both ways, and I think Vegas is feeling it kind of too because the spread's 6.5. Favorite for the Bengals. That feels trappy to me. Like they're trying to trap you into picking Atlanta against that spread. In both scenarios, I would just stay away from this game all around, except maybe putting a money line Falcons. But that's I'm just gonna trust that the Bengals are that Super Bowl caliber team. They are fighting their way out of it, and they are at home in the jungle. So I put a lot of weight into that as well. Next up, Cowboys hosting the Lions. Lions coming out of a bye week. Cowboys coming out of that defeat against the Eagles that I thought was going to happen. And pretty much we're going to see Dak Prescott coming back this week. Big spread again here with the Lions, which to me feels kind of trappy. A lot of credit going to Dak coming back. I do think overall, even without Dak, the Cowboys are the better team. Their defense has been amazing, and I expect Goff to be running around for his life. St. Brown's going to be back. They say that the running back for the Lions is still questionable. His name's skipping my Swift. There it is. So I don't know. I just think the Cowboys should win this one. Going for the clean sweep. Next up, Green Bay on the road. Coming off that terrible defeat against the Jets, but can you really call it terrible? I don't think a lot of people were like, wow, super surprised. Green Bay has not shown a whole lot of promise, really, this season so far. And this is going to be the game where they got to make a statement against a Carson Wentz-less Commanders. It took me a second there to kind of come together with that sentence. But the Commanders they're depleted. And I'm a little concerned because the spread is only 4.5. I would expect it to be more. But I guess Green Bay is kind of the play here. Definitely pick them. I couldn't go any other way. Spread, I'm still leaning that way too. Next up, Jags, Giants, and this is where this part of the season I'm just sometimes I fall apart in the spread pools, and we might witness it happen right here live on the channel. Maybe not live, but Jaguars favored at home against the 5-1 New York Giants. I can't put my finger on it, honestly. I really personally feel like the Giants have been underrated in a lot of mainstream internet culture NFL. Well, I guess that's the best way to put it. Barkley, I think, is trying to carry this team on his back, and he's very much capable of it. We have the Jaguars, whose offense has struggled insanely at times, and the Giants defense, who has always been good the past number of years, like at least competitive. I think the Giants are going to win this one, let alone I don't quite understand how they're dogs on it. Might be shown wrong completely here at Las Vegas. But I think at the beginning of the season, I would lean Jaguars based on what I saw so far this year and kind of how I figure they match up. I guess they both have those running backs that can make a difference, but the Jaguars, at home favorites here after some of the losses we've seen over the number of weeks, they might have lost their momentum, whereas the Giants have it. So I put some weight in that too. That's where I'm going. Moving on. Raiders hosting the Texans, and they're both coming off a bye. I don't really know what else to say. The Raiders, believe, are 10-point favorites. I don't even know. I wasn't looking at it. Wouldn't bet it personally, but I think the Raiders are that team we saw in the first half of Kansas City. Maybe not that good, but they're capable of that, and the Texans on the other side are not. Expect the Raiders to have a big game here coming in by. I think they're very much still in the playoff race. Don't count them out. They've had a tough schedule coming out of the gate for a team that I guess barely snuck into the playoffs, second in the division schedule. So it's a little tough. It might have shown its head, but I think the Raiders are going to turn it on here. We're going to see a plus 500 team down the stretch for sure. And this is just a get-right spot for that. San Francisco hosting the Chiefs. This is another one. I have so many games this week I just can't wrap my head around. Chiefs are road favorites by 1 point. To me, I would be considering Chiefs at 4.5. So I must be missing something completely. I like their defense to match up against this, and I would even consider Kansas fantasy defense to be somewhat in play if you're really desperate. Could have a boom or bust situation. So all these things, I just don't get it. San Francisco's coming back from that East road trip. I don't know. I don't get that one. So maybe comment below if you understand better than me. I know there's been San Fran bias, perceived bias in the past. So moving on, we got Chargers hosting the Seahawks. Just going to go Chargers. Seahawks, I think the magic is going to slowly come to an end here. Geno Smith can't keep playing it the way he was. He just can't. And that's it. Chargers, better team. They're competing with the Chiefs right now. They got to win this game, and I expect them to. Broncos hosting the Jets. Honestly, this feels like a game where I just am supposed to pick the Broncos. I just am. Feels like they have to win. There's no question about it. But at the same time, I'm starting to believe in this Jets team that's upset the Packers and are continuing this road trip. Just I feel it through Gary Vee maybe more than anything. He's got this. They're showing the receipts. The coach, the team seems to be bought in. Their defense has been playing amazing. Everything is wrong with the Broncos offense. So in a tight, close game, I think the Jets have what it takes to win this one. And that's what I'm going to go with. Sunday night game, we got the Dolphins hosting the Steelers. 7.5 point favorites. The Dolphins are. Tua is back. Steelers coming off that upset win against Tampa last week. At Tampa, again, just wild that they got it done. We're going to see if Kenny Pickett can pull it off. And is he the real deal? Is he going to be what the Steelers count on in the future? I don't think it's going to happen, but that's what the narrative is. And I'm excited to actually watch the Dolphins play Sunday night, as you guys know, as a Dolphins fan here on the channel. And the last game of the week, the spread is like 10, which is, I think, ludicrous. But in a pick'em, you got to pick the Patriots against the Bears. This game, I figure, is going to be slow scoring, 17-10, that kind of thing. But maybe I'm wrong. This is even the way Vegas is setting it up with the spread. It seems like the Patriots have very boom potential to go up for like 30 something. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that either. But in a pick'em, it's just Patriots. That's basically it, guys. I feel like I've ranted like crazy this week. This week is super interesting. It's very pivotal for pools, like the ones that pay out the first 9 weeks, final 3 weeks here. These spreads are super interesting. I love looking at this stuff. Just love talking about it. So hope you guys have a kick-ass day. We will be tweeting out the spread picks on Twitter, so follow along on there if you're interested. Otherwise, we'll see you for that next video. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Blah, 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 blah.